Murder My Numbers is a combination puzzle game and visual novel where you play as a detective solving crimes by solving puzzles to get evidence to show to people.
So I was always a fan of Nintendo's Picross games, and I was playing them one day and I kind of was idly thinking, what would it be like if these puzzles had some kind of meaning other than just a puzzle to solve? And kind of immediately the thing that came to mind was, well, what if they were clues in some kind of mystery? The idea just came really quickly.
Murder by Numbers is set in 1996, which is a very strong setting. It's very evocative. We're coming out of a period where the 1980s were quite a big thing in pop culture, and we're heading into a time when the 1990s is what people are really looking back at with a lot of fondness and nostalgia.
We were thinking about it, and it felt like it would be really nice to set a kind of detective game in an era where you didn't have access to the world's information in your pocket on your smartphone.
It also gives us a big opportunity to introduce celebrities and the media and all these kind of wild and fantastic places and people that you can go and meet as you're trying to solve these cases. Honor is our main character. She lives in Los Angeles. She works as a TV actress on a detective show, but she's not the main character. She's a sidekick, essentially. And we join her at a time when the show is coming to the end of a season, and she finds actually that her contract is ending. She's going to be kicked off the show.
She's freshly divorced and she's now out of a job, and she's kind of wondering what to do with her life. And just at that moment that she happens to meet this robot who begs her to help find where he's come from. And she's also thrown into this kind of murder mystery around her, and it kind of forges her into this kind of detective. The game is very much kind of her journey from not really understanding what the future holds for her anymore to kind of finding this new path.
Scout is a robot that meets Honor after she's left the TV studio, and he approaches her because he can't remember anything. He just turned up in Los Angeles. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know why he's there. He can't remember a thing. And all he knows is that he saw this billboard advertising Honor's TV show, which is saying, you know, she's this detective. He sees her in the parking lot outside the TV studio, and he's like, detective? I don't know anything. Maybe she can help. So he approaches her, and that's kind of how their relationship starts.
We really wanted to riff on a lot of the old 80s, early 90s kind of really high concept TV shows and films like Short Circuit and Knight Rider and things, where they were really outlandish but kind of treated it as if it was completely normal. So that was kind of where the idea of having a robot came from. But he's really inquisitive about the world, and he's the window into the picture crossword puzzles, because he is a robot that's meant to find things, but his databases have been damaged. So when he finds them, he doesn't know what they are. And so that's what you're doing when you're solving the puzzles, is helping him work out what his senses are seeing.
It's inherently kind of weird, and that's where we started. But also the story does go to some interesting and some dark places. You know, sometimes life is hilarious and sometimes life is dark and sad. And so marrying those two together into something that actually feels good and natural was quite a challenge as a writer.
I think it's a really interesting juxtaposition of these two things, the kind of seriousness and of the murder, but mixed with this kind of really light way of approaching it. And I think that I hope that'll be really interesting to people to experience.
It's funny, it's dark, it's set in the 90s, it's weird, it's all of these things mashed together into this amazing game that I hope everyone will be as excited to play as we were to make it.
It's been made by a team that have had a huge amount of fun making it, and I think that very much shows in the end product. We want it to be something that people can get a lot of fun and enjoyment out of, and so I really hope that you check it out.